I've got about 5 questions that popped into my head while you were speaking, but I think what we'll do is go down the panel and then we'll try and wrap them all into kind of connected questions, because they are definitely cross-sectoral. Next up is Jonathan Sanchez, who is the founder and MD of Stand. Jonathan recently did some great work in Bangkok with Oxfam, where one of his questions to me was, how do you get the media in Thailand to come along to an event these days? And I said it's tough, because the media really is very much desk-based, and their roles changed quite fundamentally. Jonathan has worked in Australia, in the US, and also in the UK. Prior to working with Stand, he was with Unilever in a global role. He's previously worked with Edelman, and his full bio is in your pack. But Jonathan also started out, he's MUJ trained, he was a journalist, he works in TV. So my question for you, Jonathan, but feel free to kind of branch out to other stakeholders. But media, are you as practitioners anymore trying to get to the media? Do you want to go through the media to get to your stakeholders? Or do you see them as something you can jump over easily?
No, I don't want to get to the media. I think that there's kind of 5 points I was going to make. I won't branch out straight away, Craig. I'll be kind and gentle, answer your question appropriately. I think that this rush to get to the media sort of paints a transparent or an untransparent picture of a company's intentions and authenticity. If the question is how do we build our reputation, how do we get famous, how do we get press, then the reality is you're not doing things for the right reason. You're doing things for awareness. And I think today's consumer, especially in Asia, where I've been for 8 years and will die, that's not authentic. What's authentic is person-to-person communication, direct stakeholder management, engagement that matter to you. Emma, I think the points you've made are outstandingly brilliant, so I now feel utterly castrated in what I'm going to say. No, I don't think the media are important, and I think it kind of raises the point of the existence of PR companies, because I feel like many, with respect to you, we're good mates, you can thump me later, but why are you, I heard that, I may not be polite, I don't swear, but why are you needed? Why are PR companies needed now when CEOs are having direct relationships with owners of media corporations? Has been for many years. I used to work with Barry Diller, who worked with Rupert Murdoch. You can go to WEF and sit in the members' lounge and talk to media owners directly and sell your point, but why do you need this lens, this second lens, to translate your story when consumers, who I also call people, are actually far brighter than we assume, far more engaged than we anticipate, and far more responsive than we ever expected? So, you know, at Unilever, the media was one of 5 audiences that we targeted. It wasn't the audience. We didn't need someone to reprint, to Xerox our message. They were one of 5 audiences, and I think actually Leslie raised a good point about academics. You know, that was a key audience at Unilever. Academics, students, media, government, and other important institutions. They were the people that Unilever targeted. And of course we targeted people, humans. And I get somewhat distressed about this constant phrase of consumers or customers, but because they're humans, they're people. So no, I don't think that it's important to target the media. I've said in 20 years of PR, if you have a great idea, the media will come to you. If you have to ask for a contact or ask for a channel, then you probably don't have a great idea. Pulling favours is not proof of a strong idea. It's not proof of purpose. Shall I branch now, Craig? Or
feel free to branch out. Yeah.
So 5 quick points. You know, you can probably imagine that my company Stand is called Stand for a reason. We haven't got many clients. People either love us or hate us. The ones that love us pay us a lot of money and stick with us. We have no intention to grow. So 3 to 5 clients, Singapore and Bangkok. Doing well, ex-prime ministers, corporates, NGOs. Thank you, Craig, for the Oxfam plug. So we're good to go. So we have a point of view, and that's why we get hired, because we have a point of view. And that's the currency of today's environment, and today's consumer, and today's corporate. 5 really quick points. I think this whole point around the democratization of consumers and people through social media is a farce. If you've read The Net Delusion, you'll understand that social media is equally a powerful good and bad. I think if Martin Sorrell was here, who I saw last year in Napador, he'd probably want to hire ISIS as his social media agency. They've done quite a good job. So let's be really careful about talking about the democratizing power of social media, because it's equally good and bad. And in some markets where we live, it's not available, or it's only available by VPNs, and it's censored. It's interesting that the 3-finger image from the previous presentation would actually get Webber arrested in Thailand right now, because that's seen as a sign against the military government. So the images and what you tweet and the visuals that you prepare have to be thought about in a local context. So social media is not a panacea to communications and stakeholder engagement. I don't think, Emma, I'm not sure you take truckloads full of blue likes on Facebook and give them out to the poor in Nepal.
Generally
Generally not, no. It's probably more about catch, isn't it? And we work with an infant nutrition leading association across Asia, and they've had that issue too. They want to engage and tell their story through social media, but that's really not going to stop legislation. What's going to stop legislation is engagement, working with brilliant NGOs like ActionAid, and creating partnerships and bilaterals. So let's be cautious about seeing social media as this great panacea. I think trust, sorry mate, is kind of a hygiene factor now. I don't think it's the way in. I think your study is brilliant, gets you a lot of reputation. It's a really good litmus test on the industry. So I have a lot of respect for it. But I would suggest and counter that the new industry standard must be purpose. What are you doing and why are you doing it? Because they're the questions that trip companies up. So before you get into measuring reputation or getting onto indexes and lists and winning awards, you need to think about, why are we doing this? What's the purpose of what we're doing? Who benefits? Because people are holding corporates to account today. So you need to make sure you have purpose. 57% of World Bank projects fail. So who's doing it? What's the purpose? Tony Benn, who's now dead, who gave you the power? Who can take it away from you? Who can question you? Companies that fail to put purpose at the front of what they do risk losing it all. I think we're seeing the fall of PR companies, like I've said. I think we're seeing the fall of the US, and I think you framed it brilliantly. This is a great region. We've had some stumbles, China, Indonesia, some commodity price issues, but generally this is where the money is. And I think we're seeing more of a pushback on American hegemony. 15 years ago, I wrote about this. People wanted to be the Coca-Cola kid. Now they don't. Now the Chinese want to be Chinese. The Vietnamese want to be Vietnamese. There is no Asia. There are nation states with individual cultures that must be protected. And that leads into my third point. We have to lobby soft power. Hard power does not work here. Diplomacy, and I think you said it, I can't say it better than you did, but I put down here, the rise of soft power is very, very important, and that's what we do at Stand. We don't demand. We might get a bit stroppy at conferences, because we want action. We want things to be done. There isn't a lot of time to get these things right. You're right. With our Oxfam work that we bought and bought buyers talk, we bring together corporates and NGOs for real purpose-led relationships, not sponsoring or badging and licensing. You're right. We're estimating close to 1 billion people in Asia are victims, can't afford to eat, go hungry every day. That's not right. So who's going to fix it? Where's the purpose? Where's the practice? Let's not get a trust barometer. Let's go and fix some problems. So, and that's through soft power. And to underpin that piece about purpose, it's a drive reputation. You only have to look close to home here in Singapore, where I spent 5 very good years, and look at the SGX. We had a meeting with the CEO of the SGX a couple of weeks ago. We took some of our clients there for a private reception. The only index on earth that's not just asking for GRI sustainability reporting, but will fine listed companies if they don't provide reasons why they're not giving sustainable index reporting. They will fine them. So we have it in South Africa already, have it in Europe, but the SGX are being brave and saying, if you don't provide details around your sustainable impact and your purpose, we'll fine you. So for those who think purpose isn't important, sustainability isn't important, being pro-profit and pro-social isn't important, you ain't going to get listed and you ain't going to get coverage. So what's the good side? What's the upside of the grumpy Jonathan? The upside is companies that can play, that can come together. So for me, success is Anna in a room with one of our partners, a multinational corporate headquartered here, with a government member, creating a partnership that's 3, 5, 10 years long, that isn't philanthropy, isn't a check for charity. It's a business model that encourages the company to make money, has positive social impact, and gives you the license to operate in your terms, your way, which respects human dignity. That's the power of purpose. So we speak in closing about the power of kind, and that's the difference between the opening presentation and what we stand for, is we don't believe in direct power, we don't believe in operational excellence, we believe in being together as a community, and that's how nation states respond well here to corporates and their engagement. It's about the blend of Confucianism, it's about the blend of Buddhism, it's about the power of family, and it's colleagues who to each other at work refer to themselves as brothers and sisters, not employees or staff. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks, Jonathan. Now, corporate view, over to Mavis. Mavis